This video is a topic that is very close to my heart and such a huge theme for absolutely everybody, but it is how to build your confidence. So I want to give you 3, possibly even 4 tips, really practical tips on actually how to do this. But before we start kind of building your self-worth, building your self-esteem and practicing being confident and eventually building your confidence is so crucial to every area of your life. Now, I know I have a focus on relationships, but sometimes it can actually be, or it can feel the most difficult to be confident when dating because it's so personal and rejection feels so awful. So actually with clients, I do kind of suggest practicing building your confidence in other areas of your life too, which has an amazing effect. But when women come to work with me, alongside working on the kind of dating and the love element and finding out what's, holding them back in that sense, they also, I think, every single person I've worked with has said they want to feel more confident. And usually this is because they look back on who they used to be and feel like they've kind of lost that empowered, sexy, confident version of themselves and they want them back. Or it's because they've never felt good enough. They've never felt confident, and they're sick of actually playing small and they want to really embrace who they are. So whatever reason they come and work with me around that, I absolutely love it. And a question I get a lot is, well, what is confidence? How do I get more confident? And for me, confidence isn't just like loving and respecting yourself. And it's not necessarily about like being the loudest person in the room and, walking down the street, flicking your hair and all that sort of stuff. It's actually about being solid in being okay with who you are, accepting that, and actually liking yourself and even loving yourself. It is about not bending to what other people want you to be, and it is about holding strong and being okay when somebody doesn't get you or maybe doesn't even like you. It's not about molding yourself to try and get somebody to like you. So it really is having the power within yourself to be yourself. And that really is the key, because I think being more confident is a process of building your confidence step by step, brick by brick, by doing, thinking, but really doing. So I want to give you 3 practical points on how you can get started on this. So number 1, stop talking shit about yourself. How often do you put yourself down? How often do you stand in front of the mirror and you're like, oh, you look disgusting today? Or oh, I knew, you're just so lazy. Why haven't you got that bit of work done? Or, you call yourself useful. You'd beat yourself up because you don't get the exact promotion you want. Or, you're not married. You don't have kids by a certain age. Or you've been on a date and it hasn't worked out. You internalize that and you are horrible to yourself. If a stranger came up to you on a daily basis and repeated all the things you say about yourself, do you think that would make you feel good? They'd probably be arrested for hate crime. Would you ever say to a sister or a best friend or a parent the things you say about yourself to you? No, you wouldn't. So we kind of let ourselves off the hook being awful to ourselves, and that really has to stop. And one of the way I get clients to practice this is, rather than just accepting the like horrible, spiteful thoughts that come in all the time as true, we externalize it. So we name that horrible little voice that pops up all the time, bitchy Brenda or negative Nigel or whatever you want to call them. And you can actually stop just accepting what they say and actually start having a conversation back. You might feel a bit weird doing this, but you can either write it down or you can actually talk to them inside your head. call them out on what they're saying, ask them why they're saying it, ask them actually what they need instead, and approach it from that angle. And then the next step is actually trying to replace those little thoughts that are coming in with something else, as it's kind of one of the quickest ways to sort of reset your neuro-linguistic pathways. So the second point is, I need you to actually embody the person you want to be. And this really gets into the doing side of things. Little hacks sometimes that I use in my business as I work for myself. It can be quite daunting. You feel like a failure a lot of the time, and you feel like a fraud a lot of the time. But when I kind of go into that doubt place, I think about somebody who inspires me. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, what would they do? How would they show up? What would they wear? How would they walk down the street? How would they respond to this person on Instagram, And if you can't think about it from actually who you want to be, use somebody else as your first step. And then kind of, again, brick by brick, you actually start thinking, okay, this version of myself, the confident, powerful, amazing person that I know is in there, what would they do? What would their posture be like? How would they speak to a bus driver? Those little things, so we kind of start to really embody the person that you want to become. Third tip is, you've got to practice. You can't say you want to learn a new language and then sit and read and never open your mouth and practice it. You have to practice building your confidence. I really do believe that you learn by doing, and that's why I give all clients very practical steps and things to do. But I think one of the quickest ways to build confidence is through action, because the more you step out of your comfort zone and the more you do something a little bit different, the more it will be reinforced that the world doesn't come crashing down, that it's not, the kind of scary place we built up in our heads. I mean, what's that stat? I think we're 2.5 times more resistant to loss and to change than taking risks. So we've got to start practicing a little bit. But every day, try and think of a little action you can do that moves you towards that, powerful, confident person that you want to be, that we spoke about in step 2. This could be smiling at somebody in a coffee shop. It could be saying no. It could be actually, thinking, I want a night out with my friends, I'm going to organise it, regardless of what, if they say they can't come. It's like taking tiny little steps on a daily basis that moves you towards who you want to be and the goal. I should mention this in point 2, but think about a kind of future version of yourself. Like, what would they say to you? What would they ask you to do on a daily basis? And approach it from that angle. Number 4, I've got a bonus one for you. If you are watching this before the 13th of February 2022, myself and friend and amazing fellow coach Carly Ann are running a Valentine's Day event called Fall Back in Love with Love. This is about celebrating you for all who you are, and really about working on your confidence. On a day that celebrates couples, we want to be there with you. Tickets, early bird tickets are £35 and less if you want to bring a friend, but a lot of the rituals and the practices and the workshops we will be doing will really be focused around you feeling amazing and giving you practical and strategic action steps to get you where you want to be. So that's it. Please remember to like, subscribe, follow, comment, ask me any questions, and I will speak to you soon.